Imagine this. You need to build a new home for your family. After days of searching, you finally discover a massive stone. It's strong enough to become the foundation of your shelter. But there's one problem. The wheel doesn't exist. There are no wagons, no carts, no wheelbarrows, no vehicles of any kind. If you want that stone, you have only one option. You have to drag it with your own hands. Your entire family pulls together. Some tug on thick ropes made from plant fibers while others push from behind. Every few feet, the stone sinks into the dirt. Your hands are covered with blisters. Your shoulders burn with pain. The sun is beginning to set, yet after hours of exhausting work, you've barely moved the stone a few hundred yards. Today, it's almost impossible to imagine a world without wheels. Nearly everything around us depends on them. Cars, buses, bicycles, trains, tractors, and even airplanes rely on wheels before they ever leave the ground. But there was a time when humanity had none of them. Around 6,000 years ago, farming had already begun. People were settling into permanent villages. They built homes, stored grain, and created growing communities. But as civilization expanded, a serious problem became impossible to ignore. How do you move heavy things without a wheel? Historians believe early humans experimented with many different methods. They dragged stones across wet ground, pulled heavy logs with ropes, and relied entirely on human strength. Every journey demanded enormous effort, and even the simplest task could take an entire day. Then one day, someone noticed something unusual. When a massive stone rested on smooth, round tree logs, it became much easier to move. Instead of scraping across the ground, it rolled forward while the logs turned underneath it. For the first time, humans realized that rolling was far easier than dragging. That simple observation sparked an incredible idea. What if there was a way to keep something rolling without constantly replacing the logs underneath? No one knew it then. But that one question would eventually become one of the greatest inventions in human history. But finding the answer wasn't easy. Round logs made moving heavy objects easier, but they had one frustrating flaw. As the load rolled forward, the logs behind it rolled free. Someone had to pick them up, carry them to the front, and place them back under the load again. It worked, but it wasn't the solution people were looking for. For years, perhaps even generations, people searched for something better. Some carved thick wooden discs from tree trunks. Others experimented with different shapes and axles. Many of those early attempts failed. The wood cracked under heavy weight, the axle jammed, carts tipped over before they could travel very far. But every failure taught them something new. Then, one day, it finally worked. For the first time, a solid wooden wheel rotated smoothly around a fixed axle. It looked incredibly simple, yet it was about to transform the future of humanity. Historians believe the earliest true wheels appeared in Mesopotamia around 3,500 BC. Surprisingly, they were first used on potter's wheels, helping craftsmen create smoother and more consistent clay pots than ever before. Then someone had a revolutionary idea. What if these same wheels were attached to a cart? That single idea changed everything. Now one person could transport loads that once required an entire group. Farmers carried larger harvests. Builders moved massive stones and timber. Merchants traveled farther, connecting distant villages through trade. Roads slowly appeared. Communities expanded. Cities began to grow. The wheel didn't simply make transportation easier. It accelerated civilization itself. Over the centuries, wooden wheels became lighter and stronger. Spokes were added to reduce weight. Metal rims increased durability. Eventually, the same invention powered chariots, wagons, bicycles, automobiles, trains, and even the machines that carried humans into space. Today, if every wheel on Earth suddenly disappeared, modern civilization would come to a standstill. And yet, this incredible invention didn't begin inside a palace. It wasn't created by a king. It wasn't born on a battlefield. It began because an ordinary person noticed something extraordinary. A heavy object rolled more easily than it slid. History reminds us that the greatest inventions often begin with the simplest questions. Can this be made better? Perhaps. That single question gave the world its very first wheel. If you enjoyed this journey into history, subscribe for more untold stories. Next time, we'll travel even further back in time to uncover another forgotten discovery that changed the world forever.